So I fundamentally believe that we should be conducting health research in a patient-oriented way. And that means that we should be drawing upon the lived experience of patients when we're thinking about both the questions we want to address in health research, but also the approaches and the methods we want to use in conducting high-quality health research. So a patient-oriented approach, I think, is a moral and an ethical obligation for us as health researchers when we take that research forward and when we think about the questions we want to address. And that's why in the BC Support Unit, we've decided to invest in methods clusters. We want to build a stronger evidence base that allows us to ensure that we're conducting high quality health research that's being conducted in a patient-oriented manner. And so that's the evidence base that we're generating through the projects that we're funding through the methods clusters in the BC Support Unit.
Each of the methods clusters in the BC Support Unit has undertaken different types of stakeholder consultation to inform the development of a multi-year work plan. In the patient engagement cluster, these included individual interviews, focus groups, an online survey, a tweet chat, an in-person visioning workshop, and webinars. And across the various consultations, we asked a similar core set of questions. We asked, what does authentic patient engagement in research look like to you? How do you know when patient engagement is being done well? Where are we flourishing in advancing patient engagement methods in British Columbia? And what methodological gaps need to be filled? Here are some examples of some of what we heard in response to the question of what authentic patient engagement in research looks like. We heard in an ideal world that patient engagement occurs across the continuum of research and knowledge translation, from priority setting for what research needs to be done, through to the doing of the actual research and the disseminating of the results for maximum impact. It's equitable and promotes power sharing. Core to the ideas of equity and power distribution is recognition of the value of patient expertise and lived experience expertise. Also, it's of high impact. And finally, and perhaps most importantly from what we heard, it embraces and values diversity. We heard very clearly during the consultations that we need to move the dial regarding inclusion of more diverse voices in patient engagement and research in British Columbia. But at the same time, we need to continue to appreciate and to include the voices of those people and patient partners who began to move the dial in the first place. Analysis of the information gathered from the stakeholder consultations led to the identification of one unifying theme that would guide our work ahead: advancing and embracing diversity in patient engagement in research in British Columbia. Under this overarching umbrella of diversity, 3 specific research focus areas were prioritized: patient priority setting, harnessing digital health technologies, advancing methods for and evaluation of recruitment and patient role optimization. In our next series of videos, you'll hear directly from the researchers and the patient partners leading the initial projects that have been funded in these areas by the BC Support Unit.